like rain, fall like rain, fall like rain, fall like rain, fall like rain, they fall.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Well, a disc-shaped UFO over the volcano Colima, Mexico was filmed on January 19, 2020. The same kind of bright flying saucer was caught on tape over volcano Colima, also known as Volcan de Fuego, part of the Colima volcanic complex. This happened on the 19th of January, as was mentioned. Also, Alien Warehouse Hangar 18, does it exist? Rumors about the secretive hangar at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base have been circulating for decades. It's an ideal backed up by former military pilots such as Oliver Henderson, who claimed to have flown debris and even alien bodies to the base, and Marion Black Magruder, whose father reportedly maintained that he had seen an actual live extraterrestrial entity at the base. Giant squid may be intelligent, new study finds. For the first time ever, scientists have successfully sequenced the genome of the elusive giant squid. As things stand, however, even with this genome sequence, the giant squid remains surrounded in mystery. How does it mate? What does it eat? These are just some of the questions that we still are no closer to answering. Commander Dave Fravor said a big black blob took a torpedo. Now the torpedo, or the BQM, is sitting there, and it just gets sucked down, and the object goes down, and it disappears. Now David Fravor goes on to say it just gets sucked down. You know, things just don't sink rapidly, either just get boop, and they're gone. You know, these things blow ballast, so they don't just go away. You know, they float. So something pulled it down. That's what David Flavor was talking about. SpaceX successfully completes in-flight board test for commercial crew. SpaceX now has a Demo 2, which will be their first crewed mission to the ISS and be the first crewed launch since the last shuttle launch in 2011. U.S. Space Force begins to organize Pentagon staff and field operations. General John Raymond was sworn in as the first Chief of Space Operations on January 14, 2020, by Vice President Mike Pence at the Executive Eisenhower Office building. A researcher claims Loch Ness Monster carries newborns in a pouch. I can point out where, when, how she will be seen and how to attract her. I have studied her image and methods of reproduction and have worked out females have a bag for carrying the offspring on the abdomen. That's right. 2020 opens with the bizarre claim that Nessie has a kangaroo-like pouch for carrying its young. An ancient wall and two huge buildings discovered in Antarctica. While viewing the surface of Antarctica on Google Earth, a user said he's seen these strange things. Now, the author of this discovery is confident that he was able to find a very ancient wall, the length of which reaches several miles. Also on the map, there are two huge buildings that are somewhat reminiscent of ziggurats, places of worship that were once popular in Babylon. Next news break tomorrow night.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. A big shout out to Earl Grey. Another shout out to my friend Tom with Metatron Power and Light. You guys give us some great music for bumper music for the show. And I want to thank you guys so much for the support by you giving us that music and so much more. We're back with our guest tonight, Constance Briggs. We're talking about the moon, and also James Krischbaum, who does the news, is here. So, guys, what do you think?
I think there's a lot going on out there that we don't know, that's for sure.
Well, I find it very scary when you think about it because, again, I mentioned all the people that go missing that the FBI doesn't know. You know, Constance, I do, and I have had people on the show that claim that these, beings, aliens have, they want to give us technology to save the Earth. They're here to protect the Earth. But then I think about, if they're here to protect the Earth, why is Antarctica melting? Why do we have wars? I mean, they could put a stop to wars very fastly. Why are people dying of cancer and all kinds of diseases? If they're here to help man, then I'm not seeing it. That's all I'm saying, and I'm not criticizing these people, that have come on the show and says all these rosy things. But then I have had guests on like Timothy Collin, who was abducted, Calvin Parker, who has a story about his abduction, and Terry Lovelace, who's been on 3 or 4 times with his encounter while he was in the Air Force. Very, very scary what happened to him. And I hear all these other ones that the people that have been abducted, they're not telling me the rosy, things about what's happening to them. It's darn right scary. Now, are they coming from the moon? I know Buzz himself one time slipped up and he said that these alien beings are not here to protect us. He said that. And that's going back a few years ago. A reporter asked him, are these aliens that you saw, are they here to protect us? And he said they were evil. That's where I got that evil word I use quite often when it comes to aliens, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
I got into this whole thing because I had started out in life studying spirituality and studying about angels and the light. And I stayed away from UFOs. I stayed away from evil beings, and that for a very long time I didn't want to look at it. But, once you have your hands out, in all of the stuff, you don't really have a lot of choices. All I can say from, the books I've read on extraterrestrials and contactees and people who have astral traveled is that there is I guess the word is duality. Some people have likened it to Star Wars. There's a dark side and a light side, and you're going to get the good and the bad. I've heard that there are advanced good beings out there that have stepped in, and even, are said to have shot asteroids out of our path and, prevented us from, killing ourselves. And, there was one story where, I don't know, I can't remember the details, but they had, turned off some warheads at somewhere that was going to be fired. I don't know that they are all, mighty, that they can just reach in and prevent anything from happening, everything from happening. Someone had likened them also to having, in terms that we can understand, a prime directive, and that they can, only intervene but so much that, we are beings with free will. So, they may be trying to help us to cure cancer or not. I don't know that they can do everything. And, when also, these, there's more than just the ETs. There are, other beings, there are ethereal beings that, have, I'm just trying to say maybe they have their own limitations, but I can't say that there are no good beings trying to help us. Who knows the extent of how bad it could have been, it could have been a lot worse than what we're even seeing. Maybe someone did step in and stop some of the abductions. Who knows? We don't have a clue. But I can't sit here and say that they're all evil. And I certainly don't want to think, and this is just me, that there are evil beings, on the moon. I think that there may be several different kinds of extraterrestrials that we're dealing with.
Oh, I would think so. Look at our planet, how many different nationalities we have on our planet. Now, I'm not saying every ET out there is evil. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying all it takes is a few of them. That few could cause a lot of problems. There also could be some that are basically neutral. In other words, like the Star Trek, they just observe us. Maybe we're nothing more than, I hate to say it, a petting zoo for them. They just, come and, watch us for, to see us advance in our civilization. But, I don't know. None of us really know. I have had guests on my show, honestly, Constance, said that we have 25 million cloaked UFOs circulating Earth protecting us. I don't buy that one for one bit. But I do believe that we are being visited. That I do believe. I do think something is going on. You only hear about the bad things. You don't hear about the good things. That's the bad part. You hear about the human mutilations. You hear about cattle mutilations. Then you hear about, crop circles. And then you hear about some other stuff. But you really, that's all we hear. And again, too, I think it's structured. You're not going to hear much more than that. What I'm saying is, I just don't think the moon is what we think it is. That's all. I think there's more to the moon than just controlling our oceans.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's definitely things going on. I mean, the evidence is there. Even in NASA's files, there are, thousands of documents. They recorded all of the missions going up and the dialogue and everything that they've heard and seen. It's there. Just go in and look. Go in and read. So there's obviously that there's something going on. We just don't know what it is. Hopefully, we one day soon we will.
I hope it's in my lifetime because I would really like some of these answers answered. Again, why would we create on our planet right now a space force for all times? That doesn't make logical sense. Why all of a sudden we need a space force? That, unless we have already had one and we're going to be slowly brought into it because our technology is moving so fast, maybe they realize maybe in the next 10 or 20 years they won't be able to keep it covered up anymore. So their idea maybe is to create a space force now and then people accept whatever they hear in 20 years from now.
Oh, I like your theory. I like it. I don't know. But there are rumors that there have been people on the moon, living on the moon from here and also on Mars. That were secret. I don't know. I hope we can know something soon.
I would like to know.
Wouldn't we all, for sure? But it does certainly make it makes for interesting research and interesting conversation, and hopefully some of the those that are trying to get some disclosure will succeed. And all we can do is just keep plugging and learning, and we have so much accessible to us now with people coming forward and telling their stories. Google. The internet and everything, we have a lot of information. People, I agree with you. I don't think that they can cover it up, but so many more years. But I do think that it's going to interrupt a lot of our lives and our way of thinking about our place in the universe. When we find out that not only are we not alone, but we haven't ever been alone,